Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Saturday, the 28th of June. I am Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, we've got a bit of a bumper day on Saturday. 28.50. So we are on a pretty atrocious run. So this is going to either add a bunch more fuel to the fire and the knives will be out, or possibly we can try and hit something with the 5 bets out on Saturday. So 5 bets, 28.50. That consists of combination double on the Northumberland Plate and the Vase, split leg Yankee at Newcastle, two each way trixies, and an each way combination forecast tricast at Windsor. That is my 28.50 offering to you. Before I do that, I will do the review of Friday, which again was not very good. Went from the front, dropped like a stone, finished second last. Never involved, finished actual last. Competitive, placed, but not a very big price. And went from the front and faded quite quickly. Nothing back. So we are 15 quid down from our 15 quid investment this week. So it's been small investment, but I've got 28.50 going out on Saturday. I am expecting to play Sunday at the Curragh. So we've got 2 days of this week, and then we've got Monday to finish off June, with potential stuff on Monday to play. So I'll try and keep the explanations fairly brief because there's quite a bit in here and it's late uploading, and by the time I actually finish recording the video, it takes an age these days to actually get it onto the YouTube platform. Alright, each way trixie number 1. This is the Northern Trixie. So we've got a Southern England Trixie and a Northern England Trixie. I've got nothing at the Curragh for Saturday. Start at York. There's a lot of these races where I've had some sort of level of debate. Theme Park was a debate because I got a couple of Nigel Tinklers in this bet. We backed it 2 times ago, and it didn't get the best of runs through. It has got some good back form and it is overpriced for its chances of framing. It just needs it all to come together. I think last time out we didn't back it. It was a really hot day and he didn't like it at all. So it is going to be warm in York. It's not going to be absolute El Scorchio in York. There's value in the price. Whether we get it on the right day, I don't know, but it was worth trying. So we've put that in at York. That's our first race of the day, and then we've got 2 at Doncaster in the evening meeting. 5.50 Doncaster, another investment. This is another Nigel Tinkler horse. This one, it's got a bit of an interesting profile. That the last 2, maybe last 3 seasons, its 4th run, there's been a big old jolt of improvement. So that is what we're hoping for again for another investment, because it's not started the season well, but it doesn't generally do that, and then it sort of kicks on a little bit. So another investment's in at 12s, and then there's quite a few old favourites knocking about in today's staking plan. It's just shorty by my standards, but it's got to pop up at some point. Whether or not it's who's riding it? Is it Cian Hogan? Something like that. He rides a lot at the moment for David Amara. He was riding in Ireland. He's riding for David Amara now. He's never won a race for David Amara, albeit he has got some good frames for David Amara. But yeah, the horse is definitely going to pop up at some point. Whether it is this day, I don't know. But it should run a competitive race. It's not going to hit too much traffic in a field like this, he says. Hoping at least we make it into the places. So it's a 50p each way Trixie and 50p each way singles on the first 2. We're not putting anything on Riot. So if the first 2 get turned over, Riot will be and gone for us. I'm not putting a single on it at that price for the channel. 6 quid's the investment. Sky 365, Paddy, Betfair, Unibet and Betway, because they're the ones paying 4 places here. So they are your best bookies. Next best is Betfriend Ball Sports, because I think that standard terms race, and then those same bookies plus Betfred and BallSports are paying 4 here. So if you are someone who's thinking you're going to play with Hills or Corals or Ladbrokes, you're losing out on an extra place here and here. So the advice is try and get on with Sky 365, Paddy, Betfair, Unibet, Betway, failing that, Betfred or BallSports. Bet 1, that's the Northern Trixie. Then we're getting into the Newcastle split leg Yankee. 210 Newcastle, it's Group 3. There's nothing really obvious in the race, and Spycatcher generally gives his run in and has got form at Newcastle on the all-weather, and there's quite a number of these that don't have all-weather form, and I think it's preferable in a race like this. So Spycatcher's in at 7s because I think it's decent value for each way. Whether it's good enough to beat all of them, I don't know, we'll find out, but there doesn't look like there's anything really strong and progressive in the race, to be honest. And then we're going to go Newcastle 240, so I'm split legging on the Vase, Dreams a dozen at 14s and Vaguely Royal at 50s. It's got much better form when it was trained by the Gosdens, but its handicap marks come down quite a bit on that Vaguely Royal. Then we're going 315. Keen-eyed viewers will know why this horse is interesting. Lavender Hill Mob, ridden by Mason Paytel. So Mason, unfortunately, we didn't talk about him in Ascot because he wasn't at Ascot because he was serving a ban. So this is his first ride since coming back from a ban. He's only got one ride, riding for James Owen. He has got a really good strike rate riding for James Owen. It's something like 8 in 34, and his strike, in terms of riding for James Owen and finishing in the top 4, is something in the region of 64%. Now, clearly, this is a 20-runner race. That's a bit of a challenge. But he won from the front nicely at Newmarket and then missed the ride at Ascot when the horse was okay. Some of you remember this was the one that James Owen at one point was touting as being like his super triumph hurdle horse that was going to be better than East India Dock. Well, that never materialised on the jumps. Now, he was either winding people up or he's genuinely seeing stuff at home on this one. And he's kept Mason won on him at Newmarket and he's given him this ride, and he has said, I think publicly, I'm sure I read it somewhere, he would have let him ride at Ascot had that been there. And this is the type of ride I was expecting Mason to be getting this season on the big Saturday meetings. So I think there's a bit of mileage in the handicap mark. There's a little bit of an unknown from a track point of view here. I like the fact that Mason's claiming 7. If you look at the history of the Northumberland Plate, I think in every one of the last 8 runnings of the Northumberland Plate, there has been a conditional jockey in the first 4. And that's off a basis of, in every running, there's been somewhere between 2, 3 and 4. There's no more than 4 in the last 8 runnings of the race. Has there been... there hasn't... I'm just trying to say... In the last 8 runnings, there's between 2, 3 or 4 conditional jockeys, and every single time one of them's made it to the top 4 at least, sometimes twice. None of them have ever won the race. The only niggle for the horse, because I like the draw, the draw's good. I'd much rather be high than low. I know it's a 2-mile race, but still, I'd much rather be high than low, because if you kind of got to sit and suffer if you've got a lower draw. The one niggle is the horse's profile it's more of a prominent runner. And generally speaking, the race, it lends itself to horses that come from the back, because the straight in Newcastle is quite long. It's a bit of a stiff finish. It sort of goes up towards the end. So, if you're on the sharp end, it's rare you get your nose in front. There have been, if you look back in the history of this race and the Vase, more so the Vase to be fair, prominent runners can frame. It's unlikely a prominent runner is going to win. But I couldn't get away from the fact that 50 to 1 I think is a good price. And I didn't really have anything strong else in the race. So Lavender Hill Mob, a lot of talk. Let's see if Mason can do anything for us here. And then we've got 345, another old favourite, Zip. There's a few of them. We got Riot, we got Zip. Last time it ran, we backed it. It was second to Eldrick Jones. We had them both in a split leg Yankee. They were first and second. We didn't do the forecast. Eldrick Jones has been put up quite a bit in the weights, running again in this race. Zip's only gone up a couple of pounds. I think it's like £3 for this race. I think it's £2 in the weights, 2 or 3 in the weights, something like that. And it's an extra £1, I think, to get into the race. it's a higher class than it prefers, definitely. But we've got Warren Fentiman riding on this one, and he never been out the first 5 and 4 tries on Zip. So, and it has won on Zip before. So worth putting in. So we've got, here we go, stay with this, 2 times 12p each way Yankees. So 2 times 12p each way Yankees. One is Spycatcher, Dreams a Dozen, Lavender Hill Mob and Zip, and one is Spycatcher, Vaguely Royal, Lavender Hill Mob and Zip. There is an additional 36p each way double. This is so it rounds up to £6. I know it's a funny amount. You do it how you want. Sam, I'm doing it for the channel. 36p each way double on the bottom 2. So if we get 2 legs down, we're gonna still have a little double rolling on here. A decent amount for Lavender Hill Mob and Zip. That is that bit. And then we're going to play 50p each way singles. On those 4, we'll leave Spycatcher for a single. Sky's best for extra places here. And then Paddy, because Paddy, the only other bookmaker, paying 6. So Sky and Paddy are paying 6 here. Most bookies are paying 5 on both of them. 4 on that one, standard terms there. £10 is the bet, and that's bet 2. Right. Bet 3 is nice and quick. Combo double with an extra, basically an extra horse in each of these legs. 240. Dreams a Dozen, Vaguely Royal, added in Weddell C. Not starred. Very close to being starred. So yeah, we've got basically a very close to being starred in both legs. Weddell C in this one, and in the 315 Newcastle to go with Lavender Hill Mob. The only other one I liked, which was very close to being starred, is Golden Rules. 8-year-old, very lightly raced, has some injuries, but clearly targeted for the race. So that is in at 9 to 1. So it's 6 times 25p each way. It doubles. That's £3 you bet. All bookies are at least 5 pretty much. Sky 6 on both, Paddy 6 on the second one. So that's what the bookie advice is. £3 is the bet. Bet 3. Bet 4, Windsor. Go combo, forecast, tricast. This is the race from the point of view night before. I think the prices are all over the chip shop. We'll see where the market sets them up. But these are my 3 plays for the race. So 4 o'clock Windsor, Under the Twilight, Treacherous, Chief Mankato. The lean is Under the Twilight. You'll see it's in bet 5. So you put them in the bet slip. There are 6 combinations of forecast, 6 combinations of tricast. So what we want is ideally these 3 to be in the first 3 home in any order. Then we'll be absolutely laughing. Secondary to that, if we can get 2 of the 3 in the first 2, that would be also very good. One winner does nothing for us. So it's a £3 investment. Yeah, it's up to you. Some people, like these things, find them interesting, some don't. We did have the one forecast we've had up so far this season. We did land at Windsor. I'm not specifically targeting Windsor as a track. It just happens to be, and on Saturdays as well. Seem to keep finding things on Saturdays at Windsor, but it's not a deliberate ploy. It's not like Windsor's like my only track I do these bets on. There are some tracks I don't do them on, to be fair, but Windsor's not the only one I do. So bet 4, £3. That is that. And then we'll finish off with the southern-based Trixie in England. 4 o'clock Windsor, Under the Twilight, 9s. 5:10 Windsor, Inspired Know-How. It's come in quite a bit since I started putting these through, but 12s is still okay. And then the 6:10 Lingfield. I think it's a really interesting horse, this Countess Candy, 20 to 1. It's a 6-runner race. The unknown is how it's going to get on turf, because last time it ran at Goodwood over slightly shorter, and that's the first time it's run on turf, and good to soft ground it was. We've got good to firm here at Lingfield. First time it's run on turf, and first time it's gone, the horses ran right-handed. Whether that had any impact or not, I don't know. But the horses are back left-handed, and the only variable here is the ground. So it's run previously well at Lingfield as a track, but we're talking about a different track because we're talking about the turf track. But yeah, I just thought really overpriced for actual potential chance here. So 6-runner 20 to 1 Countess Candy is in. A 50p each way Trixie. So that's each way doubles and trebles. A 50p win single Under the Twilight. And 50p each way singles, Inspired Know-How and Countess Candy. So if all the Newcastle stuff's gone down, we'll be onto this bet here. 650 is the stake, and there's no bookie advice because every bookie seems to be the stake in place terms 3, 3, and 2. No extra places in any of those races. All right, that's the plan. 28.50. You make your own choices. I'm putting that down for the channel, so I'm either chucking more logs on the fire, aren't I, or not. We'll see if we can connect with any one of those 5 possible bets we're putting out. But yeah, this run's starting to be painful, to be honest. Like, I'm sure it is for everybody watching. It is for me. It should be fun, but it's not fun when you just are on these really bad runs. It happens in the history of my channel. It's happened many, many times. I don't know when it's going to stop. I'm aware of it. I don't like it. I know if people think I throw darts. That's what you think. It's entitled to your opinion, don't you? I know what I'm doing, and others trust, others have blind faith. So you make your choices. I will aim to be back Saturday night for Sunday, and I'll let you know if that changes, if I do think it might end up being a Sunday morning vid or something like that. All right, have a good weekend, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.